feel like it so you can catch a little bit of everything that's going on. There's a lot going on here. Mr. Norton Wisdom with the amazing painting you're going to get to witness this evening over here. In a moment, Mr. Rich Ferguson, amazing spoken word artist who is a dear friend and a person I've collaborated with for many years, will be doing some spoken word. And then we will drown your ears with improvisational cacophony from Butch. That's me, Butch Norton over here.
Yeah.
Mr. Aaron Michael Stern on bass, and Mr. Jason A. Roberts on guitar. But we're gonna get started right now. You ready, Norton?
Ready.
He's ready. That means we're ready. Mr. Rich Ferguson.
Get the old spotlight going.
Dear America, where are your papers to show your citizenship? What are your thoughts on democracy? America, your erogenous zones have become hot-button issues. Your blood is poisoned with racism, radicalism, misinformation, political polarization. Dear America, stop melting down rounds to make crowns for your molars. Stop building playgrounds for new Hitler youth. And what are your thoughts on education? Can you even read my letters or calculate the difference between your richest and poorest citizens? Dear America, is that a knife in your back, a ticking bomb beneath your powdered wig? Your pork barrel politics are stuffed with trichinosis. Your eyes have gone freedom blind. Dear America, why haven't I heard back from you? Are you in prison? If so, I'll send you a cake with a pen inside so you can write me back. So, these are indeed worrying times. Often I lie awake in bed at night, just thinking about things, unable to sleep. And if any of you find yourselves in a similar situation, this one goes out to all the insomniacs. Once again, I find myself wide awake in this bed, this temple of turmoil, monastery of misery, memory foam conjurer of unwanted memories, this off switch to sleep onset, rotted mausoleum of one night stands minus 1,000, this zoo of doom, crusher of circadian rhythms, hypnotizer of sleep-wake cycles, cult of cranium derangements, dreamless spank machine, peddler of sleep placebos, pimp of dirty needle parades, this bed, this Sophocles wash cycle palette of Greek tragedies, Dante's Inferno with a pillow top, Rimbaud's drunken boat without any oars, unable to escape snarling behemoths and blue immobilities, this bed, this Sandman massacre scene, bloated corpse of corporal punishment, diddler of 40 winks, snotwad of snoozelessness, scheme of rusted inner springs, this pale corral of hyper-arousal, jittery flotation device on seas of disorientation, this bed, this tragic magic carpet, traveling across multiple time zones of a lone frozen outpost of fight or flight, epicenter of algorithms of anxiety, this bed, this 20,000 griefs under the sea, armed with a string of weaponized Z's, this hyper heaven of rapid breathing, massage parlor of mixed affective states, negator of relaxation, this bed, this cage of rage, this Googler of blues, grotto of no STD, of unease, RV of PTSD, this locomotive of instability, Batmobile of imbalance, this bed, this tram ride to slam time, 911, crank calling, calm breath, robber, counterfeiting, conundrum after conundrum, wrapped inside still another conundrum, stuffed with loot bags of car alarms, this bed, this cinema of backaches, enigma of pin cushions, second skin of jitters, curse of writing master of sleepless ink, continual sink drip in Hell's Kitchen, this bed, this Ambien, labyrinth, 3:13 a.m. bus ride to nowhere, insomnia, bomb garden with a god complex, this womb of tombed anthem of brambles, dive bar for piranhas, open mic for maniac jackhammers, this bed, this head, this dread, this way station between sun and moon that won't let me sleep.
Yeah.
It's not all doom and gloom, though. Like an elegy born from the heartstrings, humming, thrumming, raging through blood, praying through blood. Can you hear our song? An elegy, uplift we. For our paradise trampled, untended, stuffed into an envelope marked return to sender. An elegy, uplift we. For our paradise hacked, fracked, its freedom flag lowered to perpetual half-mast. An elegy, uplift we. For our paradise bomb, globally warm, bullied, berated, thrown under the bus, paradise bruised, misused, left stumbling, mumbling at the edge of sanity, paradise raped, robbed, running scared, segregated, deteriorated, labeled DOA, surrounded by pallbearers. For a paradise lost, for a paradise gained where tranquility is just a kiss away, an elegy, uplift we. For those banging at the door of fearful night, an elegy lifted. For those following body maps to dark, dangerous destinations, an elegy lifted. For the mothers and fathers whose children are stricken by disease, lifted higher. Breathe life into the child, breathe life into the mother and father, breathe vivacity into you and me, an elegy, uplift we. All the prisoners for their torturers, all the torturers for their victims lifted. When our mirrored reflections whisper, kill, utter malice be mine, promise heads will roll, lifted. In the name of the bothered, stunned, and tortured ghosts, let an elegy uplift. Up it higher for decimated Mother Nature, her polluted waters, her sickened fish, fauna, and fowl. Up higher for the mercenary heart, how it continues beating through even the most savage days when walls of fists rise all around us, when touch equals attack, when common decency falls victim to greed and brutality. When soul-deaf defeatists search out Armageddon's melody in the sounds of breaking hearts and bones for a sweeter, more harmonious music in our ears, an elegy, uplift we. Uplift an elegy for our peace, promise, and reason, our suffering, sadness, and rage. Uplift an elegy for all our perfections, imperfections, all the right and wrong things we've said, what was never said, what we should have said. Uplift an elegy for an e pluribus, you and me, a true unification regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation. Deep in the gut, our elegies are born. Every day we uproot that groove bone of grace. We shake that bone. We shake that bone. We bring our songs. We sing our songs. We be our songs. And we dance until our chains shake away.
Yeah.
Thank you. Blueprint for a better world. Cars will run on poems, prayers, and the courage of sojourner truth. All guns and assault weapons transformed into high-powered Pez dispensers. The NRA has changed its name to the NEA. Birdhouses will be built atop gravestones, gardens planted in the hearts of the lonely, lightning bug halos for everyone. Earthquakes, tornadoes, tsunamis take anger management classes. Dogs and cats call a lasting truce. Rainbows donate their colors to the severely depressed. There'll be a cross-fertilization of dreams, free speech, and the almighty dollar, a new currency we will exchange through lip lock. In Utopia's dance hall will be non-stop bump and grind music, an exhilarating, hectic, electric flowing through our veins when we touch radios, light bulbs, guitar amps. They'll come alive. There'll be dependable road signs along the highways of our minds. Clarity and foresight will be dressed in easy-to-spot polka dot blazers placed at every entrance and exit ramp to ambivalence and obscurity. All mirrors will reflect our inner beauty, our sweet cheek, moon-eyed, push-button perfection. The very air we breathe will never be used against us in the court of life. All our burdens and regrets, paragraphs of scattered thoughts, will edit one another down until we are naked and radiant, our glowing bones, the blueprint for a better world. Said at the reunion of deathbed wishes. I want to seek out tomorrows that drink optimism, straight no chaser. I want to dress our deepest sorrows and easy to shed miseries. Remove all billboards from the overcrowded highways of our minds. I want to prove that white noise loves black jazz, and Mr. Rogers was a CIA operative hired to test the limits of human kindness. And the reason dogs howl is because it's far easier than reciting Ginsberg's Howl by memory. I want to create drive-through therapy for when we just need a to-go cup of healing. Build monuments to love letters still written by hand. Offer landmark status to all remaining phone booths. I want to build bookstores on Mars, underground libraries for bookworms. Create bright playgrounds in the cloudy eyes of the dying. I want to expose all false idols for being truly idle. Recycle old lies into lions guarding the gates of greatness. televise the next revolution without any commercials. I want to create a medication to remove all self-inflicted blemishes from our conscience. Drop poetry bombs into lives without enlightenment. I want to swap eyes with a stranger to see how others witness life. Thanks everyone. I'll be back later to do a piece with the band.
Now look, we're going to do this for a little while, and that's it. Because I am not going to do it the way you want. I will never be able to do it your way. I can only do it my way. Wait a minute, lady. I'm not doing it any way other than the best that I can do. And if you are not satisfied with my best, then that's too fucking bad. So we're going to have to reach a solution or a resolution very soon. You cannot keep telling me what you think is the better thing, because I don't even know who the hell you are. And after 50 fucking years in this business, I'm not going to take all the interpretations from you. You asked me to do this. You didn't tell me that I was going to have to sit here and take all of these goddamn directions from you. You didn't tell me that, did you? Which I'm doing now. So let's do this thing and know that we are getting close to burnout.
Jason Roberts on guitar.
Yeah.
Aaron Stern, bass.
Yes.
And me. Thank you. join us in the thing. More Norton, Jason, Aaron, myself, thank you. We'll be right back.